Let's get into it. Coach Colin here. What's going on? I just did a video on this where some man was walking around and he was going to all these illegal immigrants and he was saying, "Are you registered to vote? Are you registered to vote?" And they were all saying yes, yes, yes. It was a very interesting video. And it played into the theory that, more people come into the country, more potential voters. And that theory has been casted aside as a conspiracy. But if you went to Alabama and you talked to the people there, they would tell you not so much a conspiracy. Now, is it? The Alabama Secretary of State finds over 3,000 non-citizens registered to vote. Now, that little map that you're seeing there, this is all of Alabama, and this is how many in each county were found. So this county here, there's 308, another, there's 69, another, there's 34, 23, 36, 15, 12, 37, 86, etc., etc., etc. So that's actually what's going on. Very interesting to see all of this playing out. But the Secretary of Alabama, the Secretary of State there, he's a good guy. And he's actually trying to figure out how this happened. And he's right away making sure that none of these people who have registered that are non-citizens will be eligible to vote. But here's the story right here. Listen to this.
There are still unanswered questions from the Secretary of State after finding more than 3,200 non-citizens registered to vote in Alabama. 742 of them were in North Alabama and 308 of them right here in Madison County alone. But how easy is it to register online? WAFF 48's Nick Ballinger is digging into this one. Nick.
Margot, our Secretary of State, Wes Allan, calls our elections the most safe and secure in the country. But how easy is it to actually register? Turns out, easier than you'd think. You don't even need a social security number. Over 3,200 non-citizens registered to vote in Alabama, with a whopping 308 coming from Madison County. But how did they get registered to vote in the first place?
And we're still digging into that data. How did it happen? Number two, when did they get registered? Number three, if any of them voted.
Since 2016, Alabama allows you to register to vote online. So I'm going to show you all it takes to get registered. It only takes a few clicks on the Secretary of State's office website to get started, and you're hit with 3 questions. Are you a citizen? Are you 18? And do you have a driver's license? Then, after filling out some personal information, it's on to the driver's license number or your social security. But notice, that part's optional. But after entering an address, contact info, and a little about yourself, you've got one last thing to do. Simply sign that you meet all the requirements, and off to your local registrar it goes. So what's stopping Athens resident Chris Meehan from registering? He owns a home, has a driver's license, but isn't an American citizen.
Nearly 2 years to get that process. And I had to jump through hoops. I've had to pay thousands upon thousands of dollars to get that privilege.
You can tell in his voice that he's not from here. He's from Australia. He moved here 7 years ago and is only 1 year away from being able to become a citizen. He's upset 3,000 others tried to cut the line.
It pisses me off because I'm trying to do the right way. Do I want to vote this year? Of course I do.
But what's stopping him from putting in his own driver's license number to register?
That is going to ping. It's going to ping off of the ALEA, the Alabama Law Enforcement Agency's server, to verify that you are a Alabama citizen.
But Meehan tells me he doesn't think that process is concrete because 3,251 people were able to slip through the cracks.
It's something if someone goes looking, they might find that an illegal immigrant has voted.
Allan tells me that each county's local registrar is going through that list to find if any of the people that were flagged are now citizens, and those people will be allowed to vote. Reporting live in Huntsville, Nick Ballinger, 48 News.
So when he says that last part there, those people would be considered, I believe the term is naturalized citizens. And at that point, you would be eligible, but you would have to update your information. And also, I would think you'd have to kind of answer the question of, knowing that you weren't eligible, why were you trying to register the vote? It's very, very interesting stuff. Now, like I said, that gentleman that we saw on the screen, not the newscaster, but the other gentleman explaining himself, that was Wes Allan. He has issued a statement, a little more than what you heard just then, So he is trying to fix this whole thing, but we'll see what happens. This is pretty wild, because, you know, everything's a conspiracy theory until it's not, you know what I mean? Now we're starting to see it, and this is just Alabama, but how many other places are like this? How many other Secretary of States are going to be like, oh, well, my system isn't working, and here's how many people we found, and here's me letting the public know about it? Is California's going to do that? You think New York's is going to do that? Chicago's is going to do that? I don't know. But this is also what he said here. I have been clear that I will not tolerate the participation of non-citizens in elections, Allan said. I have gone so far as to testify before United States Senate committee regarding the importance of this issue. We have examined the current voter file in an attempt to identify anyone who appears on the list that has been issued a non-citizen identification number. And then a little lower here, it says repeated request to the United States federal government to assist Allan's effort by providing a list of non-citizens currently residing in Alabama have been declined. The lack of cooperation has led to Allan to do things another way. So that's also interesting that they have declined to help with a list that they should have access to pretty easily. Not sure why that is, but again, the theory that I talked about at the beginning could be possibly why. Who knows? But here's the thing, right? We go from state to state to state. That could sway things. Let's just say that 3,000 in all 50. It's quite a that's a lot of people right there. Again, they're not sure how this happened. I'm pretty sure how this happened. The people just went and they registered, although they knew they couldn't, and they just wanted to, I guess. Because you could easily just check and say, you could go to any real government, not really any government office, but you could go to an office and say, am I eligible to vote? I'm XYZ, been here for this long, have this identification, can I vote? And they would tell you no, more than likely, and that would be it. Like the Australian gentleman said, it is a privilege that you do have to work towards, and you don't just get it just because you jump in here and next thing you know, you just want to vote. That's just not how it works. But again, 3,251 people did that. Again, like I said, everything is a conspiracy until it's not. This one didn't take all that long. I mean, Rogan has been talking about it. Tucker has been actually, you know what? I have to say, Tucker's been talking about this for years. For a good 2-3 years, Tucker's been talking about this thing. Rogan's been talking about it for about a year or so. Patrick Bet-David has touched on it. Past that, I'm not really sure who else has. I know I've been talking about it for at least a year myself. Just goes to show you, you gotta take things into consideration, you know? Like, I don't know what else to say, because this is clearly, I'll say it like this, clearly someone would like to have more people vote for them. Right? That's not a statement that they can ding or stop this video because of. That's clear. You would want more people to vote for you. And you wouldn't particularly care where they came from. And if Alabama figured it out and then turned to a certain federal entity and said, hey, can you help us? We're trying to get all these people off the list and figure out what's going on here. We're trying to figure out who all the non-residents are so we can, you know, nip this in the bud and not have this happen again. And then they say, no, we're not going to help you. I don't know. Listen, I know I have a bias. You know, I always talk about my biases, but even if it was the Trump administration saying no to this type of thing, I'd be like, I can kind of guess why they're saying no. You let them in. Now they want to vote. Who do they want to vote for? This isn't hard. This isn't hard to figure out, guys. Anyway, I just wanted to bring you that little bit of news, and shout out to the Secretary of State, Alabama. What was his name? Allan West or Wes Allan? Let me verify that name again. What is his name? What is his name? Wes Allan. Shout out to him for actually admitting where he was wrong, 100% admitting where he was wrong, and being willing to, put that out there and correct it. It's amazing. It shows a real commitment there. So if you're in Alabama right now, you definitely have a Secretary of State that's standing by his word, 100%. Anyways, guys, like, subscribe, turn on the notifications, helps us tremendously. And other than that, I'm out.